copyrighted production of the Recreation Centers of Sun City Incorporated and is intended for the sole purpose of informing our Recreation Center members. Any duplication, copying, transmission, broadcast, or use, including electronic and social media, is strictly prohibited without the prior written consent from the Recreation Centers of Sun City Incorporated. Thank you for watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is top of the hour now. If you're able, would you please rise and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, welcome to the Exchange. I'm Tom Foster. I'm president of the 2026 Board of Directors. This meeting is being audio and video recorded and also live streamed. Please take out your cell phones and electronic devices and put them in a silent mode. And I hope that not too many of my colleagues will kick me under the table if I fail to tell you to turn them back on, which I almost always do. I still have black and blue ankles for that, so. All right, as a reminder, verbal and physical aggression towards any member or guest or RCSC staff is not acceptable. Offenders may be asked to leave the meeting. Let me start with an introduction of the board, our timekeeper and management personnel. Director Mapes.
Good morning, everyone.
Director Brissett has another engagement this morning. Director Keiss.
And your timekeeper, too.
I was going to mention that, but thank you. Vice President Nedesine.
Good morning, everybody.
Treasurer Gray.
Good morning.
Director Ruff.
Good morning.
All right, and then turning to management, we have General Manager Rebecca Hill. Good morning, and Director Golf, Annie Renio. Good morning. And Director of Operations, Mike Diermeyer. And Marcia Johnson, who runs the whole show, board coordinator. Let me also recognize Alan Kleinhans and Carly Young and Miguel Jackson, who serve as our audiovisual engineers. And do you have a presentation that you wish to make? All right, why don't we start with Vice President Nedesine's update on Mountain View.
Hey, hello. Okay, guys, it's March already. Who would have thunk it? So, again, I'm going to really work hard not to turn the presentation off midterm, but you just have to bear with me. Okay, so this slide you've seen, we're finished with visioning programming. We've got the design contracts. The option 3 permutations were delivered. We chose one. We chose 3B plus, which was everything in option 3B plus a new clubhouse and a new mini golf building rather than renovations, and a new budget of $30.1 million that we voted for. And the initial topographic survey is complete, which is good news because it means we've worked with Maricopa County and shared our initial plans with them. In progress for our board is meetings with Triarch as the design data is delivered. Part of that design data that is delivered is the information that comes out of the stakeholder meetings, because the information coming out of the stakeholder meetings influences the design. So We have ongoing sessions between RCSC management, Triarch, the CMAR, which is Krauss-Anderson, and the RCSC board to understand how that information is coming in from the stakeholders and how it's being implemented and incorporated into the design. With the goal and focus always of being on time. So schedule is important, but also being on budget, the budget that we've assigned. So we're finishing up some final design contracts as they come in, because as we move through this, there may be other subcontractors that Triarch identify that they need to work with. We're providing Triarch with any additional data requests. To date, they have all the data that they have wanted, and we've not provided them anything new recently. And then we're still working on how to do the Mountain View project calendar. Now that the CMAR is on board, we think we would have a better chance of having an actual calendar that will, probably in list view, that would help people understand what's happening when. Triarch is in design phase. They're generating and executing contracts. And the field survey of any existing buildings that remain, and there's only maybe 1 or 2, and they're small buildings, they're still looking at those because we're still in design. For the schematic design phase, we've talked about 3B+. We've talked about the construction manager at risk, which is Krauss-Anderson. This is a natural transition, but the big part of this that everybody needs to keep in mind is they manage time and budget. So schedule and budget is really important for this project, and we're going to have a construction manager at risk who does this, and this is their job. And we have initial meetings and a report from Maricopa County regarding permits and site requirements for renovating Mountain View. Some really good news that we've come. They are not significantly seeing, or they are not seeing any significant challenges for the way we're currently permitted for Mountain View. So one of the big ticket items on the budget was for water retention, and they're not seeing that at this point in time. They're not seeing that we have to perhaps invest in that. What we're doing for water retention may be enough, which means that already working with the CMAR is helping us, and Triarch is helping us to appropriately fund different things, but not spend where we don't have to spend. So they have done, Triarch has done all but 4 to 5 clubs with the stakeholder meetings. Each club that is meeting is providing more specific needs of the clubs that use Mountain View once it's complete. This includes clubs that were already there, but clubs that are looking to use Mountain View in the future. And I am excited to say I've sat in on many of these stakeholder meetings, and we are hearing more people being excited about coming from. The Players Club is always on everyone's mind, but they are not the only ones. There are the handbell ringers who've asked to talk. There's the band, concert band. There's the chorale. There are a lot of different performance groups that are talking with Triarch right now to determine how this particular performance-based facility will help, how they can use it, how they can provide performances. And they're open to different conversations like, well, we would have liked to see the 420, 450 seats, but with what we got, maybe we do 2 performances rather than 1. So there's a lot of give and take in these conversations with the clubs that are looking to use that space. We've also been talking with tennis and pickleball and aquatics and fitness and looking at alternatives around the different spaces to provide people with everything that they think within our budget. This is a similar to any other stakeholder meeting we've had. For those of you that attended, you dial into a call, you have a conversation, there's documents you have beforehand, and they anticipate within the next 2 weeks or so, they should be wrapped up. There were those 4 or 5 clubs that they could not actually get within the timeline they originally had, but they're still moving forward. And I will also tell you that fitness, operations, IT have all met with Triarch to ensure that the infrastructure center is solid and what it needs to be from the ground up, from technology to storage cupboards. I mean, how many times do we hear we don't have enough storage, right? So from technology to storage cupboards to toilets to showers, you name it, we're having those conversations. So how are we communicating? The website, our Facebook page, email blasts, and of course, our exchange meetings. One of the things I would like to say is, just like last year, I will continue to do these presentations during the summer, even though we're not having exchanges. So just go to the YouTube page, we'll post it, we'll send emails. But if you don't, for whatever reason you didn't get to the email, just go to YouTube and look, and the presentation should be there. Again, we're committed to keeping the project moving forward. Again, I would like to thank the members. Without the members, we would not be as far along as we have gotten. We really appreciate your support and your diligence in ensuring, letting us know what you want. I'd like to also ask if there's any additional communication channels you'd like us to try. I'd like to thank a couple of members who sent me emails with ideas for communications, and we're looking at implementing those into our normal communication model. So please continue to communicate with us, Board of Directors at Sun City AZ. Like and follow us on Facebook page and YouTube. The more you like and follow us, the quicker the algorithm gets going. So please like and follow us. And then let us know your thoughts on the new information that's communicated as it comes out. So what comes next? The project calendar, this monthly design progress, additional stakeholder meetings for schematic designs. So this round of stakeholder meetings that we did, that's the first round. And there will be additional meetings depending on what information Tri-Arc needs to get from the different clubs, from management, from the board. Shovels in the ground. I'm really focused on shovels in the ground. I'm not quite sure what kind of shovel we should have, but I'm focused on having a shovel in the ground. A jackhammer, okay. I know there are some people that would like to use a jackhammer. Me personally, I'm not certified to use a jackhammer, and that would not be good for our liability insurance. So, and again, Mountain View finished renovation project delivered. It's now in sight. We're that far along that we can start talking about when we've gotten it done. Not get her done, but when we've gotten it done. So thank you. We continue to look forward to your input. And once again, we couldn't have gotten as far as we did without the members, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice President Edesine. Let me just make a couple brief announcements, and then we'll get on to the main, we got to go through the topics, and then we'll get to the comments from the floor. But just a couple announcements. We did have a number of folks who had indicated a desire to serve on the board and fill out the 2 seats that are currently vacant on the board and serve until the end of this calendar year, so roughly 9 more months. So we did interview all of those individuals, and eventually chose Mike Kopic and Steve Collins to fill those 2 slots. And then at the meeting later this month, the board meeting later this month, we will swear those 2 individuals in, and they will begin serving at that time. Membership meeting the end of this month, March 31st. That agenda is getting filled out now. There'll be some comments by myself and Vice President Edesine and General Manager Hill. I have been reminded many times Food starts at 5, which is the really important thing, I apparently. And the next important thing is door prizes at the end of the meeting. And whatever we say in between, apparently, you know, I don't know how many people will pay attention to that. But the idea is to give you some information, have some fun, and have an informative meeting on the 31st. So that will be starting at 5 p.m. right here in this facility. Okay. Hope you picked up one of the exchange topic spreadsheets. Let's take a quick look at this. We had a concern about the cornhole courts that are up at Lakeview. And so in response to that, at least on a trial basis, we're going to try to extend the hours of that and see if what kind of usage we get and whether or not there is any disruption to the folks who work in the building that's right next door to that. Then we had a request for trying to host a voting booth somewhere on our property, rec center property. And that was a really hard one for us because we were very sympathetic, I think, to that proposal. But unfortunately, as often intervenes these days, liability issues and legal issues unfortunately have come to the fore and have we've come to the conclusion that as much as we would like to do something like this, there's just too many other costs and potential liabilities here. So we're going to have to pass on this, at least at this time, until we're able to get those things sorted out. There was an individual who had expressed some concern that they wanted to purchase a installment plan on a golf pass, and they had a bad experience. We've addressed that and working on our customer service at Cardholder Services so that does not happen again. Clubs, what might happen to clubs at Mountain View while Mountain View is shut down, and the management is, I guess, open to hearing your concerns. So please, I guess, get a hold perhaps of Mr. Deermeyer. He's my favorite place to always point. And the reason is that things happen with him. He does get things done. So hopefully, if you're a club at Mountain View and you have some concern, perhaps he'll be able to assist you on that. Then we had an interesting discussion about feeding the trout in the lake. And so before we just said, wow, what an interesting idea, we did check with the group that we have hired, a consultant who actually monitors the ecology of the lake and other lakes in this area. And their report back was the ecology of Viewpoint Lake is just fine. The trout are doing just fine, and other lakes in the area don't feed the fish either. So at least for this season, I think we'll see how this goes, but we are not seeing fish kill. So it would appear that the fish are finding plenty of food as is in the lake. So we'll kind of play this by ear and see if there does turn out to be any sort of a issue that needs to be addressed. And then the last one here was some postings hours at Bell. There was some concerns, especially I think on Sundays, that there was some confusion about what hours the facility was open. And again, Mr. Deermeyer, were you looking to make some adjustments to signage? Yes.
Do you want me to say something?
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to add some additional signage by the bowling counter. I don't want to put signage on the building because George's is open, so I don't want to deter people from walking inside the building to get to George's.
Okay. Hopefully that will address the issue so that people will be able to see the exact hours that the facility is open. Okay. I think we've covered all of those. Oh, Debbie Lesko and was it the sheriff? And go ahead.
The sheriff and the county attorney will be here Friday, and it's going to be a town hall on homelessness and related safety issues. It's a back and forth with Debbie and the county attorney and the sheriff. So it's from, I believe, 8:30 to 10. Half an hour before is kind of like a meet and greet, and then an hour for the town hall. I'd like to strongly encourage everybody to come. This is a District 4 event, so there will be potentially people from outside of Sun City. If you have any friends in Sun City West, please let them know it's happening and encourage them to come. And it is specifically to address our growing concerns around the impact of some of the social issues that are beginning to become pretty prevalent around us. So if you guys would spread the word, we'd really appreciate it. And we'd love to see everybody turn out to share their views. AM.
Treasurer Gray.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I just want to make one comment because our president, I think, was a little self-deprecating when he was talking about our annual meeting and as if what he was going to say might not be as exciting for us.
I would say cynical, but that's...
Yeah, well, I just want to reinforce that we are, as a organization, have been in a transition phase. We've got a new general manager that's bringing a lot of things to the table. We really have some, I think, some exciting things to look forward to in this coming year. And the annual meeting is where a lot of that will be talked about and clarified. So it's not just all about budgets. We know a lot of people don't like to just dwell over budgets and budget numbers. But our annual meeting, I think, is going to be an interesting and enjoyable and encouraging annual meeting for our membership and for the coming year that we're looking forward to. So it's going to be more than just food. It's going to also be fun. So hopefully everybody will be able to come and enjoy it. I know I'm looking forward to hearing everything that's going to be said and also what's going to be coming on this coming year. So thank you.
I think I'll let the comment on budgets pass.
So number 29?
Yes, we're ready to start with, go ahead.
Number 29, please. Is there a number 30? 29? Then if you can come up to the microphone, sir. And we
Rusty, could you help him with the microphone by chance?
Thank you. I'm Roger Sharon Brock. My member number is 23343. We've been here 26 years. I think the facilities are generally good and wonderful, well used. We have 7 rec centers conveniently located so that people don't have to go too far to enjoy the facilities. We use Bell Center quite a bit. Bell Center is well equipped in their fitness room, their spa, and all the other activities. Those of us who can't use the fitness equipment can swim for exercise. I swam 25 years in the Bell pool, in the lap pool, and it was great. And there's steps leading down and so you can get in and out of the pool on these concrete steps. Now, I'm no longer able to use those steps. And I'm not the only one in Sun City that's in the same shape I am. So every pool should have a chairlift so people can get in and out of the water without a lot of trouble. We have a good lift over at Lakeview. It's I've been using that now for a while. It's battery operated. There's no extensive work to install it. The cost of one of these lifts is minimal compared to all these million-dollar projects that go on. And wait a minute,
Do you reach that okay?
I wrote this off. I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget it.
Happens to me all the time.
But then I forgot to pick it up. No, that's it in a nutshell. I think every pool should have a lift because anyone who pays their assessment fee every year, especially for that many years, should have access to a convenient facility. So what I'm asking about is getting a decent lift at the Bell lap pool so we don't have to worry about it driving a long ways or getting in and out of the pool.
Okay, Vice President Ensign?
Okay, so firstly, the foundation has put in for a Christopher Reeves grant for lifts for the Bell Pool. Now, there's no guarantee that we will get that grant, but we're putting in for the grant. So we're asking, our first step is to put in for a grant to see if we can get a grant to help put more than one lift in at this point, but to put a lift in at Bell. And then I believe, Mr. Durmeyer, if we did not get the grant, you had an alternative option that you were going to look at with regard to lifts at Bell?
I can't get it off this thing, so I'll just talk this way. So Roger, we're waiting for this grant to determine if we're eligible for the grant, which would give us 3 lifts at the Bell Pool, 1 for each body of water. If we don't qualify for the grant, then we're going to look into putting the lift at the lap pool.
Okay, will that come out of a operating budget or how is that? I mean, I hear so much about budgets.
Mike might be able to speak to this better, but we just did a project with the pool decking, so we were hoping that there was enough leftover money in the budget to come out of that, but I don't know where we ended up on that. So that may be something we have to figure out down the road is where the money comes from, but that's where we'd like to put the next lift.
I'm glad the intention is good. Thank you.
Thank you. Should mention that Mr. Whipperud, who is Director of Facilities, has joined us. So I assume you're good? Okay, thank you. Next. Are you finished, Roger? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Roger. Number 30, please.
I
Is
believe
there a
he
30?
came early and then left.
31, please.
Good morning, John Fast, 153253. I was recently graciously granted the opportunity to review all of the Players Club activities for 2025, and I found it quite fascinating. And they have been very persistent in their wants. They have about 180 members. They have an internal committee to lobby the board. The president has said the club's goal is to build the finest theater money can buy, and admission to plays is open to non-members on the same basis as it is members. I'm not here to cut up the Players Club. What they do, they love to do, just like the rest of our recreation. If it's golf, if it's fitness, pickleball, it's all enjoyable recreation. Your challenge, and I know it's a challenge, is to allocate resources to the highest and best use for the benefit of all 32,000 members. So when I went through all the data, there's some real challenges that they face in terms of scheduling out a year's worth of activity on day one. Think about that. A year's worth of activity on day one. You don't know that, on Tuesday, so-and-so and so-and-so are going to be available. So there's going to be some gaps in their scheduling. That's perfectly fine. What I did find interesting was that based on those numbers, the auditorium capacity is 90% unused. That projected usage is less than 5% for the new theater, unless you get a whole bunch of other folks. So my purpose here is, again, I would suggest that we consider a multi-purpose facility in the same footprint as the theater so that none of the work that has been done is wasted. It is all relevant to both, and I have put together a scale model of what that might look like. It will be being finished up at Bell Woodshop. If anyone would like to have a presentation on it, you can contact me at my email, jfast24895@aol.com. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, John. Do you want to mention anything here?
So the only caveat I would like to add to that is that if the Players Club were the only club utilizing the performance space, if the Players Club were the only group, period, that was using the performance space, I would argue that Mr. Fast's concerns are legitimate. However, they are not. They are not the only group. They are not the only organization. Just to mention a few clubs, I mentioned some of them during my presentation. Sun City Choir, Sun City Concert Band, Sun City Rhythm Ramblers Band, Handbell Ringers, Piano Club, Players Club, Community Orchestra, portions of there's some series for the Desert Brass Band, the All-Stars Band, the Ukulele Club, the Swing Kings Band, movie night presentations, lecture opportunities, and convention, private events, special events, etc., community events and meetings. So by and large, I understand if we were only doing this for the Players Club, where the concerns will be, but that is not the case. And I think sometimes it's disingenuous of us to say that it is only one club that is going to benefit from this and one club only, because there are many members who feel differently. And recently, I don't know if recently in the Independent was a comment to write to the Board of Directors if you disagreed with the performance space. By and large, the feedback that we got was either in support of the space or asking us not to overspend. But there were far fewer people coming right out and saying, don't build this performance space. And this was at the direct behest of a member who sent in under a pen name a article stating, write to the board of directors and tell them what you really feel. And they did. And by and large, the majority of them say, don't overspend. Nobody's building state-of-the-art anything. I want to be really clear. State-of-the-art performance space of that size, probably about $60 million. We're not doing that. There's no state-of-the-art anything being built. So I want to be clear that it's not just the Players Club, and we need to start talking about the community as a whole and everybody that potentially would use it and benefit from it. We need to talk about the fact that there are important considerations as we're moving forward. So thank you.
John.
President, I'm only going to say that
John,
those clubs did not use that facility in 2025 and 2024. They may have an interest. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, thank you. Treasurer Gray.
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment too. The Vice President had brought up some interesting letters to the editors that we've seen with anonymous names, which I find appalling. For one, I'm very disappointed that the Independent would do something like that. Because if somebody, to me, doesn't have the courage to put their own name on what their statement is, they're gutless cowards. They put out information that can and is completely inaccurate, and they don't have the courage to put their own name on it. Now, I've offended people sometimes by what I say, but I'm going to tell you the way I see it and the way I think about it, and I'm going to be upfront and honest with you. Whether you like it or not, that's who I am. That's what I respect, is when people are willing to put their name on it and say, this is what I think and this is what I believe. But I think it's poisonous for our community to have this, again, disingenuous communication that doesn't, from somebody that doesn't have the courage to put their own name on it and has to hide behind a pen name. And so for me, I think the Independent should change that policy. Again, I'm very disappointed that we have a supposedly community paper that is not supporting our community by requiring an honest writer to put their name on it. That's my 2 cents. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Treasurer Gray.
Number
Next.
32, please.
Good morning. Barbara Kepler, number 127410. So everybody's been talking about Mountain View for so long now. My comments are about the Mountain View pool. And I'm sure they've got great ideas coming up, but my concern is enough tables and chairs. Very simple. 2 weeks ago, we didn't have enough seating for the number of people who wanted to use the pool. We need more tables with umbrellas and chairs. Right now, there are 8 tables with 4 chairs. 2 do not have an umbrella. Of those 8 on the back wall, there's only 3 tables. Used to be 5. We also have 5 tables underneath the awning. The awning is like an oven. It is an aluminum top, and no one wants to sit in there, especially during the summer. It's like an oven. So we also have, under there, I think there's even more than that. There might be 6 tables under there. It's also too hot, so if we can do anything, would be helpful for that. We know at least there's hope that we have some new seating when the pool is completed. And we understand that it isn't feasible to purchase any new seating right now. So let's see what we can do to make it better. There are 2 tables outside of the tennis courts that I've never seen anybody use. So maybe we could take those 2 tables and move them. There's also 3 tables and chairs outside the pool, up in the upper area. We can leave the one where the smokers sit. And the other 2, I don't see many people using those, so we could move those also down to the pool. So that gives us a total of 12 more chairs with the tables and umbrellas. So for those who like to use the pool, we are very grateful of the changes that are coming. and the enhancements that we are expecting. It's been a long wait, and it's time for the pool that looks like we're in a prison compound to change. And that's one comment when first time I ever brought some visitors to that pool. And it's our resort pool. And they said to me, it looks like a prison compound in here. So whatever we do going forward, I hope there's some decor that people are thinking about. I don't know if it's painting the walls, putting in some more plants, something so it doesn't look so bad. Thanks.
Go ahead, Vice President Nedesign.
So I'm going to take the last item first, the decor and the beautification of the site. That's definitely going to be part of what we're looking at as the aesthetics. I will tell you the foundation is moving forward. They are having something called a 40 for 40. The foundation has been in place for 40 years. We're looking for a donation of $40 from the members. And that 40 for 40 is going to be for artwork at Mountain View. That's the primary purpose of that particular drive, is the beautification of Mountain View. Answering the shade issue, yes, we're constantly talking about cabanas. So one of the struggles we have is when the wind comes up, umbrellas have to come down. So we're looking at alternatives to umbrellas, things that provide permanent shade that's not heat sink, because I understand what you're saying about the heat sink. So those, yes, the right seating, the right shade, and that it looks, Mountain View looks, I don't want to say pretty, but Mountain View is aesthetically pleasing to the eye. That's important, so thank you.
Go ahead.
Mike wants to talk.
Oh, Mr. Dearmeyer?
I don't have good news on new furniture, but our Marinette and the rest of the Chase Loungers at Bell should get delivered in the next end of this week or early next week. So we're going to move some of the old furniture down to Mountain View so that there's more furniture down there. We have moved some already, but not everything we have.
Right. Thank you. That should be helpful.
Number 33, please.
Sir, please don't take offense from this, but you wore that shirt one other time, and we had some complaints about one particular word there. Could I ask you to maybe hold your hand over that so that it doesn't show up on TV? Thank you.
Sorry about that.
No, there was some found that offensive, so if we can just address that, we'll be fine. Thank you.
Jim Kepler, 127409. Let me say that my comments have nothing to do with the current board members. According to the available information, construction costs in Arizona have gone up 40% since 2020. Let's take a lower number. How about 25% increase since 2020? Unfortunately, the Sun City boards over the years have delayed this project about 8 years. I was 72 years old when I served on the first ad hoc committee. I'm going to be 79 this month, and we talked about the shovel. I know it's coming, but we need to learn from this and make sure that this doesn't happen again. We had a board member tell us that there were plenty of open spaces available in Sun City, and we didn't need a performing arts theater and another building that would be flat floor space for all the other activities. We only have two buildings that can successfully hold dances, Sun City here and at Bell. These delays cost us ratepayers at least $8 to $13 million, depending on what percentage you want to use, by delaying this project for so long. It's too bad we can't actually sue some of those board members. I know that's not possible. But we had one group, the pickleball group, that delayed this thing, actually supplied, I would call, faulty information over the years. And my guess is about 20% of the people in Mountain View actually play pickleball, yet our whole facility has been held up for 8 years because of this one sport. I would urge that board create a plan that in the future, no Sun City project can be delayed by special interests, and any Mountain New project better be ready to start within at least 2 years of conception. We have Lakeview coming up in a few years. I hope the board can take action that we don't let some special interest group come in and delay that project as long as they've delayed the Mountain View project. And we could learn by the past mistakes of the previous boards. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jim.
'34, please. I thought Jim was 33. He was. 34.
Good morning to all of you. Excuse me. My name is Michael Scozen, number 148709. I'm here to talk about Duffyland Dog Park, its condition, the lack of maintenance. I feel there's some oversight there's some issues that are not being addressed, particularly the trees. Back in, I'm going to go back a little bit, 23, 24, when I started to visit the park on a more frequent basis, I just noticed the steady decline of the park, particularly the trees. I so happened to watch, I wasn't in town, I so happened to watch the exchange meeting on 12 May 2025. It was stated that there were a couple trees that were being watched. They were going to be for possible removal. And that all the other trees, it was stated in that meeting, that all the other trees were in good, if not great condition. Well, right after that meeting, I went and took pictures on 15 May 2025. I can be more than happy to send those pictures to you, but trust me, drive to the park, you'll see what I'm talking about. Fast forward, here we are, March 2026. Those same trees are dead. Majority of them have branches that are in excess of 3-4 feet, falling to the ground or just hanging there. And it so happened one day, I was at the park and we got one of those Arizona winds, a branch broke and almost hit a woman. This is a liability on the part of this board. It brings me to why it seems like there's no priority given to the park in terms of maintenance. There's currently a tree stump. There's a tree removed and the stump is still on the ground. It's a hazard, trip hazard. And right next to that tree stump is a water sprinkler, just gushing every day. And then there's sprinklers that are installed downslope from the shrub that's on an upslope. And the water runs out, goes underneath the concrete, and it creates another puddle. So my purpose here today is to find out what can be done, why we're only limited to 4 or 5 hours a month. If you go into 4 hours, obviously you do the math, that's 48 hours, that's 2 days out of 365 we get any maintenance. That's why I'm here. Would appreciate attention to the matter.
All right, thank you, Mike. I guess we had some discussions about this, and perhaps I'm confused a little bit about responsibilities between RCSC and the club as to who was responsible for what. Is there any clarification of that, or?
Mr. President, I'm with facilities. The grounds crew does cleaning once a month in that space, and that's been the agreement. The club is supposed to do other ancillary things, sweep sidewalk or whatever, during the other times. I don't necessarily agree with the statements that were made about the dog park. We do take good care of it. We have removed some trees. We have been looking to see if some might come back, but I was out there 3 weeks ago. Things looked okay to me. I'm not saying it's perfect, but that's the schedule we have with the grounds crew.
Would you have any concern if the chair of the properties committee took some folks out to look at that facility?
That'd be great. I don't know that they do Duffy Land on their surveys.
Yeah,
They
I'm
do?
not sure that they do either. So I thought perhaps maybe at least get a baseline so that we
Yeah.
all
Well,
know.
we have a properties committee meeting in there in a couple of weeks. Director Brissett, we can probably set something up.
Okay. Hopefully we can begin to address your issues here if we get some folks out there to look at that. Because I certainly your club members have come and voiced some concerns, and I guess I've been a little confused as to exactly who was responsible for what, and I'm still a little concerned or confused as to exactly what the RCSC's responsibilities are. I don't believe I've ever seen those agreements, but in any event, let's get that straightened out. Yes, sir. Oh, Mr. Dearmeyer.
Thank you, sir. I have a meeting this week with the club to hash out what's going on. There's obviously, since the previous agreement with the club, there's been a lack of something going on. This was all done prior to me, so I want to get an understanding on where we need to assert ourselves, gain an understanding what needs to be done. Then there's a financial issue on this. This is unbudgeted items that we got to start to consider. Where do we get this money from? How do we do it? As of right now, we have been sending resources, my team from Lakeview, over to the park to assist with garbages and sweeping and that, so it didn't fall completely on the club. But with regards to the trees dying and the replacement of that, it's just there. We have to get a game plan together. There hasn't been a game plan because we understood the club was taking care of the park, and so we need to renegotiate what the agreement was from a couple years ago, and we need to start having discussions, which we have not had. The only discussion we had is at the exchange meeting, and it hasn't allowed me to have a back and forth with the club members to gain an understanding of what the real struggles are.
Well, I think we've had enough discussions in the exchange meetings that the club obviously is concerned and has expressed those concerns, and let's see if we can't address that in a reasonable way for all parties concerned here. All right, thank you. I hope that that's helpful for you.
I'm not saying you're not doing it. As members of the club, we can't cut down trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
He'll meet with you, and he'll meet with the club and work on getting a better setup for you, for everyone. Number 35, please.
Good morning. Barry Shopper, 128442. I have two items for you. My goodness. The first one has to do with last month's board meeting. There was a proposal for $2.7 million for the North Golf Course redo, is what I'm calling it. This project was not even on the 2025-2026 possible project list. And now, last month, all of a sudden came up and said, we need to do North Golf Course, and 2.7 million. It had a first reading. The next board meeting, it suggested to have a second one. But it seems like that's a little, it's a train. To me, it's a train. Hop on the train and get out of town. That's a lot of money, 2.7 million, and there wasn't anything behind it other than we're going to fix the golf course. So at least I'm asking for at least a one-pager go out in a blast or whatever it's called as to what the money's going to be used for. Because that's a lot of money, and where did it come from? And if we have money to set on a train to get things done, then we have a place to put it. So item number 2 are the marquee signs. And in the review of the 2026 pre-budget, the replacement of the major modules in the marquee signs was suggested at $750,000. This item was left out of the budget for 2026. Today, the estimate is $850,000. On 12/10/2025, I know my time's running, the exchange list of topic documents, a request for communication that is more than emails, is not all members of RCSC have the technology to get information. 2 weeks ago, there was a letter in the Independent that said the same thing. I heard the board conversation about this is a community. These upgrades are for all of the community. And I am suggesting that if we can find 2.7 million for a golf course, how about 850 to fix all of the marquee signs so that people can be reminded and participate in community activities? That's it. I made it.
Good job.
Okay.
All right. Let's do North Golf Course first. Mr. Keiss?
The money there's been $2.8 million in the PIF forecast for the North Golf Course for a few years now, so I'm not sure what you're seeing, Mary, but it's been there for a long time. The Golf Advisory Committee has looked at the plans from the golf architect to do the bunker renovation. The board has seen the documentation that went along with the business case for this. There were approximately 20 files of information backing up all the information for it. So there was an extensive amount of information that was reviewed by the board and by the Golf Advisory Committee in order to come to this decision. But the money's been there for a long time in the PIF forecast.
So is this just for the courses itself, that it's not for a new clubhouse and it's not for new golf carts or anything like that?
The three things involved in this are renovation and removal of a number of bunkers, 20 acres of desert lands, conversion to desert landscaping, and putting tiff-tuff Bermuda grass on the back nine like there is on the front nine of it, so that the course has the same grass on both nines. That's what this is. Okay. The whole renovation, or there's a different project in the PIF forecast for the cart barn and the maintenance facility at North. We haven't brought that up yet, but that's a little ways down in the PIF forecast. You want to talk about the marquees?
Yeah, I can talk about the marquees. So,
Are you satisfied? Have you had your question answered about the North Course? You looked like
can
questioned.
I add something?
The only other thing on the North Course for me was there was mention at the board meeting that there was grass that was burned due to the high temperatures, that it didn't take root or something. I'd like to have a general idea of how much does that mean? Does that mean that $250,000 Or,
Yeah, there's some confusion there, I think. So when he was talking about the TIF Tuff on the second 9 at North.
right, this is different.
I know.
Yeah.
So I was trying to distinguish those two. So that was one thing. The other part was part of the overseeding that we do annually. And that did not, it did very well everywhere except, unfortunately, Lakes West Golf Course. They had some heavy rains at an inopportune time, and some of that seed was washed away. It did not germinate, and so that course even now is struggling to have the grass that all the rest of them do.
We need to answer 2 questions.
Yes, so let's go ahead and do the marquees.
So I don't believe you were at the last board meeting. You were probably streaming. No, okay. So there was a business case that was back there that we can get to you that talks about the North Golf Course in detail.
No,
So if you're interested, we
okay.
can provide that to you. With regard to the marquees, the $827,000 that was in the budget for the marquees was because we were going to do it over 3 years, and we built in a 10% increase year over year with a 10% contingency. So that was basically to adjust for inflation. Okay, so 250 this year, X number next year, X number the year after. So that is the way that we were able to decide that we could do this, and it's incremental, and I understand what you're saying about the golf course versus the marquees. Different buckets of money, unfortunately.
Understood.
So this is coming out of the SIF funds, and this is the best way with minimal impact to other big projects that we can actually move forward. It's a balancing. It's like, and I'm so understand, Mary, I'm 100% behind you. I'm 100% that the marquees are really important, but we have to be able to pay for them and maintain some of the other things we need to maintain, so.
Understood. With the marquees, though, with our 33,000 people, there are a lot of people that don't have the technology to bring it up on their phone, bring it up on their computers. They don't have these things.
I agree that the marquees are really important.
But to go from 26 to 27 to 28, that's too long when you can come up with 2.8 million.
So we
on a
will
golf
take
course.
that under advisement, Mary, and I'm not putting you off. I'm just saying, we hear you,
Well, you
and
can,
we'll
but
talk
that's
about
okay.
it. We'll talk about it,
Come up
okay?
afterwards, and we'll try to explain why those are coming from different places.
Okay. Do you have a checkbook?
He does.
Okay.
It's his personal one, though.
Well,
Lovely.
Wherever-
Thank you so much.
wherever he's got the money, we'll talk. Okay.
Number 36, please.
Whoops.
We were talking about the golf course. One of the main drivers for doing the new turf is the ADWR requirements of water usage. We have to reduce our water usage to meet some future abilities. So that is a big driver of this.
But not quite a reclamation system yet.
Okay, go ahead.
Good morning, Lori Ellingson, 133335. I attended the vintage car show on Saturday, which was excellent. While I was there, I lost a debit card that I'd put in a back pocket. I want to thank Shirley Gotwood. She found the debit card. She was resourceful enough to look me up on Facebook, send me a message to let me know that she had the debit card. And I would like to thank her personally, which I already have, but I was extremely happy and excited to hear that we have honest people in Sun City that instead of thinking, oh my gosh, here's a debit card, I'm going shopping, score, she was honest and found the resources to contact me. So I think that's wonderful. I think the majority of our members here in Sun City are honest, and I also think it is an honor to have a board that leads this corporation with the same type of truth, honesty, and integrity. So thank you for that. I also have some great news that I want to share. I recently had a meeting with all 6 members of the tennis board. I was thrilled to hear them tell me that the tennis courts at the Lakeview facility were finally going to be repaired and properly maintained. I've been bringing this issue to the attention of past boards for the past 8 years with no success. So when the 2026 tennis board confirmed that yes, they were going to be repaired, you can't imagine what good news that was. I didn't believe that it was true, but since it came from the president of the tennis board and was confirmed and backed up by the other 5 board members, I am sure that that is indeed the case. So I have a few questions pertaining to this great news. Which of the 7 board members should I reach out to personally thank for getting this long-awaited and overdue project started? When will this project start, and how long do you anticipate it before it is completed? I'm sure all the problems with lack of lights, lack of shade, and lack of water will be addressed.
Is that concluding your comments, Lori?
My time is up.
Okay. We'll have to get back to you on exactly what your club has communicated to you. I am not aware that there has been any such decision made by this board or the allocation of any of those funds. So unless they're funding it themselves, I cannot verify or communicate to you that that is indeed a fact. It is unclear to me where they decided to make those statements, but I am not aware that there was any project made on the PIF project to do that particular tennis court project. I know you've come and promoted that for a very long period of time, but there are just other things that this board has been focused on. That was not one of them, at least in the near term. So I cannot verify what apparently they communicated to you, if that is indeed the case, but I just will have to, I just can't verify that.
Is there anyone on the board that could?
I would know about it, quite honestly, if anything had been done. To my knowledge, no such. That would be a project that would have to go through BP16's process, and through that process, I would have known about it. No such BP16 business case has been provided that I'm aware of.
Okay, so during this meeting, I said, at this time, no money has been allotted for the Lakeview tennis courts for repairs. There needs to be, the needs of the tennis club have been ignored and pushed aside as they have been for the past 20 years. I asked the board, do you agree with that statement?
No.
And
She's talking tennis board.
I know she's
Right.
talking tennis, and we
Right.
have not ignored tennis.
And
She's talking the tennis.
the
Oh,
secretary said no, We know that Lakeview is going to be taken care of. We heard that from the RCSC board. The membership director said, no, I don't agree with that statement. I said, did you hear that from an RCSC member?
Okay,
Three people said yes.
Lori, that's time.
The treasurer said yes.
Lori,
we heard it from
please.
2 people.
Okay, we can't verify this. You've had your time here. We understand where you stand, and we need to get to the next folks, but we'll get back to you about this. I can't say that. I can only tell you that I can't verify what they said.
Number 37, please.
Evie Webb Swope, number 168514. I had no intention of coming up here. I grabbed a ticket, but it bothers me that none of you seem to understand about the Duffyland Dog Park. No groans. It has nothing to do with the best friends and all the money they got for the air conditioner. This is about the club, the park. It was purchased by this body in 2015 for $150,000, which was about half of what it was actually worth. So we gained an asset with a lot of equity, and immediately, and I have proof of this, stopped treating it like a facility from the moment it was purchased from Bob Knight. I have actual documented pictures that show the decay of this park every year that this organization has had it. I do not know why. The only reason the club was formed, and it is a social club, it is not a regular certified club or whatever it's called here, is because the neighbors started complaining and people took it upon themselves to form a club and do the sweeping and such. But it is a wasteland. Every morning I get up and I drive past the Talisman and the golf course and see plush trees and nice lawns, and I get to the park and it is a desert wasteland. We're the only ones within a 20-mile radius who do not have any green on the ground. What we have is dead and dying trees. We've got waters. You did fix some, and I appreciate that. But the water, especially in the summertime, is brackish. It is not fit for human consumption, and I'm not going to let my dog drink it either. I do not understand how you can have an asset that is totally kind of pushed aside. I will make sure and have the documentation for what I'm saying, that you understand what we're looking at, and I'll have it to you by tomorrow at the latest. I will send it to the board, and I will send it to Mike Dermeyer.
Okay.
I am, we've got such lovely places. This is a wonderful community. I want a dog park that is just decent. They're all over the area. Sun City West is a prime example. Anyway, I'm going to leave that alone. But I suggest you look at the history of what we own, and at least from a business standpoint, keep an asset so it remains an asset and not something you're ashamed of. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't disagree with what she says. I think we do need to look into it more and come to a better arrangement on how to take care of that place.
Well, that's what we've kind of set up here, is so I'm hearing plenty of concerns here, and so we're trying to put some resources to get this straightened out so that we know who's responsible for what and how it can be addressed going forward.
Number 38, please.
Hang on.
Sorry.
Director Gray.
I just do want to clarify, when you talk about asset, I mean, it is an asset to the community. It's a resource. That is a plus. You talked about the business. In a business, it's not necessarily an asset because we're not gaining money from it. We're actually spending money on it. So it's a liability too. So when the liability outweighs the asset, it's not a financial benefit. But I do think, and I agree with my other board members that said that it's something we do need to take care of because it's our responsibility. And so, again, I think that with what Director Diermeyer had said, that they are going to be looking into it. They're going to be talking with the club. This might have been something that should have been done months ago, but they haven't been. We can't control what hasn't been done before, but we can start that process, and that process is in play now. So as I understand it, we're working on that. So we're moving in the right direction. But I just, again, want people to realize that when we're talking about an asset that we own, it's also something that is a liability that we have to maintain, and that's what we're going to be looking at. How can we maintain that the best way possible?
Okay, go ahead, Secretary Kais.
Number 38, please.
Tad Daughters, 117436. I'd like to let people know that the next to the last production of the players before shovels are scheduled to go into the ground starts on the 20th with Once Upon a Mattress, a great musical comedy. And we'd love to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Next.
Number 39, please.
Hi, good morning. I live right across from...
Name?
Oh, yes, I forgot to give my ID and all that. Gail Keating, 131755. And we do have good, honest people here, yes. I live right across from Mountain View Rec Center, and I agree with the man who previously spoke on the pickleball situation. I hardly ever see anybody in that pickleball court, but I'm in that pool every single day. And save your money. That pool at Mountain View is a beautiful resort-style designed pool and one of a kind in all of Sun City. And it's so beautiful because everybody in the community who lives near there, we all gather, and I have these really nice pictures where everybody just socializes in that pool. Very few people use it for laps, very few. And you get some walkers, but it's really not a walking pool. It's a social, beautiful pool. Save your money. Everybody has said, leave that pool alone. So, I mean, if you want to do something else or whatever, but the pickleball has gone out of control. I feel like they're going to start asking us to throw gold bars soon at them. It's ridiculous. Then my other issue is, so save the pool, save your money. Then my other issue was the median that's right there on, it's 107, right, that runs on the other side of Mountain View. It looks like the sprinklers aren't working and that grass is all dying. So I called up RCSC, and I asked them about that, and they said that was Maricopa's problem. Then I called up Maricopa a number of times, spoke to all these different departments. They said it's your problem. And then I spoke to lots of people walking their dogs up and down the beautiful grass that's dying, and the trees are dying there too. They are the old beautiful orange trees that are part of Sun City history. They're gorgeous. And we're being told that I guess they want to die. Leave your trees, save the money on those trees too. Just water the grass. Those trees are so established, they're going to be okay. So don't, you know, if you purposely let them die, you know, you're not going to, it's going to look awful. And it's going to take us forever, just like the pool and Mountain View and all that, to get new trees. So they're fine. They're hardy as could be. But that's pretty all I, you know, wanted to let you guys know. Save your money. See, I'm up here to save money.
Well, that's
and
very
I want
thoughtful.
you to have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
All right. Can I show you real quick since I didn't take up all my time super fast.
Can you show us after the meeting, ma'am?
Yeah, it's really nice. It's
Okay.
all the people hanging out in the pool. It's really nice and socializing. Thank you.
Not to burst your bubble, but that is, this is the rec centers of Sun City, not the road department of Maricopa County. Those are not, we can't do anything about, if were we to go on there, we would be in trouble with Maricopa County. That is not our responsibility. No matter what they told you, that is not any, we do not have any rights to go on that property. So well, I'm not sure why they would make that statement to you, but that is not the case.
Yeah, talk to Ed. And ma'am, we've
Ed
heard it.
Van Ness is over there.
We've heard it loud and clear from the members, don't mess with the pool at Mountain View. And that's been the direction that's gone to the architects and the design team. Now, there's going to have to be a lot of work done on the pool to update plumbing and things like that, but we've heard it loud and clear, and we've told the architects, don't screw with the pool.
Yes, sir. Director Gray?
Yeah, I just want to reinforce, SHOA does have their roads and safety meeting where McDOT is involved. And as the president said, it is McDOT's responsibility. Sometimes when you contact Maricopa County, you may not get the right person, and you may not get the right information. And so, and I've run into that more than once. So it is a Maricopa County responsibility for those medians. So.
Thank you, sir.
Number 40, please.
Good morning. Esther Albertus, 134690. Hey, this is a very simple request. A couple years ago, we went to online guest passes. And then the people that wanted the punch cards, they didn't like that. Why can't we have both? Because I will give you an example. My husband plays pickleball at Marionette. He took a guest there. It took the time of the monitor to fill out the paperwork, to pay the money, which you have to have. And I just think it's not an either or. Why can't we just have both, you know? And I personally do everything online. I'm an Amazon shopper, I do my banking, I do everything. And why can't I buy a guest pass online? I did before, so someone took it away.
Well, there were some other concerns that did come up about that we relate back to a previous administration. We don't need to go into that part, but for the time being anyway, the punch cards were, I know that there are some pluses and minuses to that process, but it has been generally workable, and you're a little bit the exception to the rule in doing things online. We certainly got a lot of pushback from folks who did not like doing it online or using the kiosks that were established at some of the centers. They had some issues with that, but at least for the time being, the punch cards are what we're going to stay with for the time being.
Are you willing to look at going back to the online and the punch cards? Because really, I don't think I'm the exception to the rule.
I'm with trepidation going to let Mr. Deermeyer speak.
Thank you, Mr.
on this.
Deermeyer.
So at the 11th hour of the website unveiling, we lost functionality on the guest passes. It's not an either or. We're in development of redeveloping the online guest pass thing. The whole thing had to be redeveloped from scratch. So we're working on it. It'll be back out. I don't have a time frame though.
Got it. All right. I just think that it's kind of short-sighted not to be able to offer that. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Number 41, please. Sir, do you actually have a number?
Has everyone spoken who wished to speak, except for you? If so, go ahead, Steve, and you are now number 41, apparently.
Thank you, Steve Collins, 166871. I want to first thank the board for accepting me on the board for the 9-month term. I will continue to fight for the residents the rec center, and the employees of the rec center. Because we need all of them together to make us successful. And as far as our yearly meeting, I hope that businesses will do contributions and make our yearly meeting even better every year. Maybe we could even, at the yearly meeting, we could have a yearly assessment where you reach in and everybody that came, you pull out a card and you pay their assessment. So as far as the chairlifts, Mr. Diermeyer, if nothing works, maybe the COC can come up with some funding. The folks in the dog park, they have put in for trees and ground covering, so the COC will be looking at that. That was one of their requests. So a lot of stuff is being worked on that people just don't know what's going on, that we're looking at a lot of different avenues to pay for things. But, we'll get there. Where you can see the improvements around town right now. Look at our golf courses. Eddie, got to get him, keep them nice, and you're getting there. The food is so much better at the snack shops. People are going there for lunch. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Steve. Has everyone spoken who wishes to speak today?
Milton Lepsack, 130-662, and I just want to make two comments. First of all, I'm very happy to see Mr. Collins back on the board. He's obviously very concerned about issues in the community and the rec centers, and I'm very happy to see him back. He's a very responsive board member. Secondly, the comments from Commissioner Gray, I totally agree with. I hate to see letters to the editor without a name, anonymous, or some clever pen name that they think is going to get people's attention. I think it's disgusting, and I would hope that the Independent would change their policy and not do that anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, Milt. Anyone else? Anything on live stream? Mr. Diermeyer? None? All right.
Ed wants to talk.
Ed?
Ed Van Ness, 116-313. First of all, I'd like to thank the board for the progress they've made in the recent years. It's a vast improvement. I mean, I can see smiles in the community where there used to be big frowns. But anyways, one of the things, I'm going to talk a little bit about SHOA for a second, if I may. We have a petition that we're looking to get signatures for that's fighting the APS rate case. I do not have availability this morning. I couldn't get to the office before I came here. But if you stop by SHOA office and sign that petition, they're looking for a 14.5% rate increase. That'll give them a 23% rate increase over the last 3 years. I think it's absorbing it, and I'm just looking for support so we can go and represent the people of Sun City that really need the support.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Ed, does it have to be in person, or does it have to be a wet signature that they're looking for these petitions?
Yeah, you can go on our website and sign up and do that.
Okay, so they can do it electronically at SHOA website?
Right.
And I should know that by heart by now, but I don't. I apologize. Or you can stop at the office and sign physically.
Correct. And if you're not a member, you can join.
There is that too.
Thank you.
For a very minimal cost, I might add. Very minimal.
Okay. Anyone else? All right, then our next Board of Directors meeting is on March 26th at 9 a.m. right here in this room. The next exchange meeting, the April one, will be the 13th of April at 9 again in this room. And as we mentioned earlier, the annual meeting is on the 31st at 6 p.m. again in this particular room. There being no further business and without objection, this meeting is now adjourned. Thank you for your attendance. Oh, and turn on your phones. Thank you, sir.
copywritten production of the Recreation Centers of Sun City Incorporated and is intended for the sole purpose of informing our Recreation Center members. Any duplication, copying, transmission, broadcast, or use, including electronic and social media, is strictly prohibited without the prior written consent from the Recreation Centers of Sun City Incorporated. Thank you for watching.